All right, I'm gonna do a video here on alternative fire starting methods. This is just going to be one other than Fatwood. We're all gone Fatwood crazy and stuff lately, but in my area of Oklahoma where I live at, there are not a whole lot of pine trees. And I noticed that some people that I'm subscribed to and videos that I watch, that people get Fatwood, they are not in an area where there's a whole lot of pine trees either, and some of them don't even have that many trees at all, depending where they live. But we have here in Oklahoma, which it's all over the place, you know, but it's an invasive species, invasive species. It's cedar, and they're everywhere. They're everywhere around here, and you know, birds just eat the seeds and off the trees and go sit on the fence line and poop, and seeds come out, trees grow. So they're everywhere. But cedar is an excellent fire starting choice, primarily using the bark, and that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to use some with the bark, and this is, you know, like I said, it's a good alternative for people who don't have Fatwood in your area. Because what if you're out somewhere and you're stuck somewhere and you don't have any Fatwood, or you don't have any in your area that you can find real quick, like, and you need a fire. And we really don't need a fire today because it is like, I don't know how, it's 90 something degrees, high humidity. 90 doesn't seem too bad, but with the humidity, it's phew. So I'm out here sweating it up in the woods. So anyway, let's get this going. I'm gonna get some bark here. Let's scrape some of this off. This axe. See how dry that stuff is? It just crumbles off. It literally just crumbles off. So, all right, we're going to gather some of this up, and we're going to take it back to the stump. All right. Now that we made it back to the stump, gathered some materials. Like I said, like Fatwood is really the go-to source if you can find it. Like I said, in my area, it's very hard to find because there's just not that many pine trees in just this particular part of Oklahoma. We do have many pine trees, but pine forests and things like that at some national parks are all on the east side of Oklahoma. They call that green country. But we're out here in the plains, so there's not too many pine trees. So, but yes, Fatwood is the go-to source if you can find it and get it and all that stuff. A lot of stuff I've gotten of Fatwood is, I found it when we were on vacation in Louisiana in the Kisatchie National Forest, and a few people have sent me some, things like that. So, but we're talking about cedar, and we have an abundant source of cedar in our area. So I gathered some of the bark, things like that, and we're going to peel off a little bit more here. Use this axe that Kyle and Jacqueline from Plant-Based Outdoors and Plant-Based Survival gave me, and it's very cool. So I much appreciate that. But yeah, here I took off a branch here, cut down a piece. You see all the bark on here? It's just loose on here. You can actually just pull it off, but get more of it off if you scrape. You can, of course, you can use a knife, spine of your knife if you got one. My big knife does not have a 90-degree spine, so I use this to do it. What's good about cedar, though, is very fibrous. The bark is very fibrous. you know. And a lot of times it just, I mean, you don't even need a knife or anything to peel it off. You see, look how red that stuff is underneath there. It's just a beautiful piece of wood. Cedar is just beautiful. It smells wonderful. But yeah, you can see just how red that is in there. How beautiful that piece is. All right. You see, like I said, see, that's the got 3 different. It's all bark. It's all the same bark, but it's 3 different types. You know, I mean, processed 3 different. Like there's very. See how fibrous that stuff is. It's very. Get that in the camera. Very fibrous and stuff. Now this stuff, a little more dried right here, but it's still got some fibers in it. Could be processed down a little bit. Like this stuff right here. It's a little bit thicker. But see how fibrous that stuff is? I mean, you can get in there and you can just peel apart the fibers. I mean, they're in there. And cedar does have natural oils in it. So look at that. Cedar does have natural oils in it. It's not like fatwood, although fatwood can be found in some cedar. It is very rare. Very rare. Maybe if a lightning hits it or something. But it does produce a little bit of sap, you know, on the outside and things like that. So which is excellent for fire making. So what we're going to do, just like you do with fatwood, oh, almost took off. Some of this stuff going here a little bit more. There we go. Well, it doesn't take off like fatwood does, but it does get going, because this is the stuff I've used most of my life. Some stuff ready here. There we go. Now you can go break off some branches and things like that. When you break them off, it splinters off into little pieces. And get that stuff going, because this stuff is extremely dry right here. Dead branches on cedar. And cedar smells so awesome. And it's a good alternative. You know, I mean, like I said, if you do not have fatwood in your area. And I could have scraped that stuff down a little bit more finer. But like I said, I've used this stuff so many times. You see how that just splinters off when you do that? It's not a very strong wood. It can be, but just a small branch. But yeah, just some bark, a couple of branches. And there you have it. A and that'll allow you to get bigger stuff going, things like that. So just keep putting on more. And like I said, cedar bark and cedar wood has oils in it too, but not quite like this. This stuff is still my go-to if I got it, which I do now. But here in Oklahoma, I've used cedar many times, you know, because that's what we mostly have. And you can hear it popping because of the oils in it and things like that. But you can even split this wood down if you wanted to. Get in there and get some of this goodness right here. And man, just the smell of cedar is awesome. And you can just smell it by itself burning. That's, you know, a great alternative source if you don't have fatwood in your area is cedar. And most of it grows everywhere. So and it's easy to harvest, easy to get, and even in wet you can find it dry, and it's easy to process down because it's not a very hard wood at all. It's very soft wood. So, and that'll allow you to get plenty of time to get some other stuff that you have gathered up to get burning a fire. But there you go, cedar wood, fatwood, pine fatwood alternative. Keep it heavy, y'all. All right, I forgot to add something. How many times do you go to edit a video and sit down and relax to go edit it and you forget something? You can scrape shavings off like you can fatwood. Just off the inside of cedar. See? Instead of using the bark, you don't even have to get into the bark. Because sometimes, you know, the bark, mosquitoes all over me, can be wet, but generally you can find some good good dry bark. And you can use your knife for this. I'm using this ferro rod's high-speed steel striker. It's got a good edge on it. That should be good just for demonstration purposes. Because I mean, you can get some very thin stuff on there, you know. So. Ooh, caught my hair. And see, there you go. Just off shavings from cedar on the inside. So that works very well. Have your materials to put ready on it, some fine materials to put on it, and you're good to go. Once again, keep it heavy.